Prologue. The first time I saw her, her name was Patricia, or at least that's what I overheard her say to the bartender. She was fiery, confident, and loud, but in a way that wasn't annoying, just magnetic. Her energy commanded attention. When her eyes met mine, I froze. She smiled, not a polite, forced smile, but one that felt real, like she saw something in me I hadn't yet seen in myself. I nodded, unable to speak. That was all it took. No words exchanged, yet I couldn't get her out of my mind. Chapter 1, Chance Encounters. The next time I saw Patricia, it wasn't at a bar. She was on the corner of Main Street, holding a sign that read, "Make New Laws." A crowd chanted around her. My heart raced, not just because of the shock of seeing her again, but because being near a protest was the last thing I needed. My work permit was legal, but attention was dangerous. Yet, despite every logical reason to walk away, I crossed the street. She called out to me, her voice cutting through the chants. "Hey, you." Caught off guard, I stammered, hi." For the next few minutes, she spoke passionately about justice, human rights, and the need for change. I said little, feeling the fire in her words. When she finished, she said, "You don't have to agree with me. But you're here, and that says something." Her conviction haunted me in the best way. She wasn't just different, she was someone who saw the world as a fight worth having. Chapter 2, A Shared Thread. Our next encounter was at the grocery store. I was debating between two brands of coffee when her voice broke my concentration. "You look like a man solving a serious problem," she teased. I turned to find her smiling, her basket full of vegetables. "Coffee is serious," I joked back. What began as a casual exchange quickly turned into something deeper. By the fourth time we met, this time at the park, I felt fate had something to do with it. We talked for hours that day. Before I could stop myself, I asked, "Would you have dinner with me sometime?" Her eyes sparkled as she said yes. Chapter 3, The Weight of Truth. Dating Patricia was like stepping into a world I didn't know existed. She was fearless and outspoken, everything I wasn't. Yet, she made me feel alive in a way I hadn't in years. But I knew the time would come when I'd have to tell her the truth. One night, sitting in her apartment, I finally said, "Patricia, there's something I need to tell you." She listened as I recounted my past, my years as a commando in Mexico, fighting cartels, the injury that forced me out, and the cartel's threats that made me flee. When I finished, she took my hand and said, "You're brave, Gabriel. Not just for what you did then, but for telling me now." Chapter 4, A New Beginning. Marrying Patricia felt inevitable. Our wedding was a simple courthouse ceremony, with her in a white dress that made me believe in miracles. After months of discussing our future, Patricia asked, "Have you ever thought about going back to Mexico?" I hadn't. The idea terrified me. But with her encouragement, I called my cousin Miguel, who assured me it was safe. The cartel had moved on. So, we packed our lives into a car and drove to Baja. Crossing the border felt like crossing into another life. My family welcomed us with open arms, and Patricia charmed everyone. Together, we turned a run-down garage into Tola Lopez, a thriving business. Chapter 5, Cracks in the Foundation. For a while, life was good. But over time, Patricia grew restless. She missed the energy of the city, the activism that once fueled her. "You're wasting your potential," she said one night, her voice sharp. "You could have done something bigger, but instead, you're here, fixing old cars in the middle of nowhere." Her words cut deep. "This is what I've always wanted," I said quietly. "A simple life, a home. I thought you wanted that too." "I thought I did," she snapped, walking away. Chapter 6, The Storm. The tension between us worsened. Patricia became distant, leaving the house at odd hours. When I asked where she was going, she'd deflect. "Do you want me to sit at home all day?" Then the whispers began, rumors tying Patricia to Enrique Valdez, the flamboyant new drug lord in town. At first, I dismissed them. But the signs were undeniable. Her sudden happiness, new clothes, and late nights all pointed to something I couldn't ignore. One day, a customer mentioned seeing her with Enrique at a cantina. My heart sank. To be continued. The story unfolds with tension mounting and Gabriel facing a storm that threatens everything he's built. What happens next will test his love, loyalty, and resilience.